September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and shines a spotlight on the increase in death by suicide. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young adults. Kevin Polky, founder of Shatter Our Silence, is with us today. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us today. What is the mission of SOS?
Well, the primary focus for us in mission is for us to raise awareness, is the main part, about the factors that lead to young adult suicide, and then really focus on the educational components of educating young adults, their significant others, parents or guardians, as well as the professionals, educators, counselors that work with them.
How do you go about doing that, the education portion?
So a lot of times we get opportunities to go right into the schools, and that works out best. Earlier today I was at Rock Valley College, and we had a Wellness Wednesday workshop, and it was open to staff as well as the students, and so that would be a good example of what we do. Or I'll come into a school district and we'll work with usually the middle school or high school, and then we also spend time with the staff themselves.
So SOS was founded in 2016, about?
2016.
And I mentioned at the top that it's the second leading cause of death for young adults. Have you seen nationwide any change there?
Unfortunately, we did see a drop. Over the last, since 1999, we saw a 40% increase overall in death by suicide in the United States. We did see a dip during the pandemic, and that coincides what normally happens when there's some type of pandemic or catastrophe or war or something like that. We see a decrease in deaths by suicide because people are now focused on survival, focused on what is happening that is bigger than themselves. Unfortunately, though, we've now started seeing those numbers start increasing, and we know that all the surveys and all the polls have showed that there's been an increase in, especially young adults, showing that their depressive symptoms and anxiety symptoms are increased. So 50% right now, almost 50% of our individuals from 18 to 28-year-olds are identifying as having anxiety symptoms or depression.
You mentioned anxiety and depression, but what are some of the symptoms that people should be looking for if you're concerned about a loved one, for example?
Yeah. So again, it's going to vary with each person, and really looks at what is your loved one's normal baseline. And so if that person's normally a social person and now they're isolating and not socializing, that would be an indication. If they're normally enjoying, let's say, exercising and working out, being outside, but they're not doing the things that they normally do, or they say certain things like, what's the point? Those are all indications that your loved one is off their normal baseline, and that would be concerning. Obviously, if they're saying things such as, I don't want to be here anymore, or I don't think things are ever going to change, or I can't do anything right, and it's pervasive, meaning they're saying it more than once, not just in a moment of frustration, that may be another indicator that something going on, and we may need to seek out some professional help.
So if you see those red flags, how do you start that discussion?
Well, I mean, as hard as it is, and it is always hard, is really, so tell me what's going on. I see that this has changed, or I noticed this, that you're staying in your room more often, or you don't seem to be you're not eating as much, or you don't seem to be sleeping, or you're sleeping too much. Those are all things that are behaviorally you're bringing your observation to, and you're letting them know that you notice.
So you don't want to ignore it?
Oh, 100% not, because they may very well be wanting you to say something, they just may not know how to say it, and by you acknowledging it, and by what you see that is different, will help them say, yeah, this is going on. And so if we do think, if someone is saying that they have thoughts of hurting themselves, or don't want to be here anymore, asking them directly, have you thought about taking your own life? Have you thought about suicide? And at most of the time, when we don't want to do that because we don't want them to be feeling that way, but the only way that we're going to know if we're seeing these signs is by asking them directly. One of the big myths about suicide is that if I talk about it, or if I ask them about it, somehow I'm going to plant a seed, or I'm going to encourage them to do it, and that is completely false. If we're asking someone, it's because we're seeing certain indications, and if nothing else, they're going to be talking about something that they probably don't want it to be there, but they want to talk about.
All right, Kevin from Shatter Our Silence. If people would like more information, you have a website they can go to?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to shatteroursilence.org, and we've just recently had a new website, a new face to the website. Great job with that, and now weekly we're putting out weekly content. This week, the article that came out about how sports can help young adults' mental health.
All right, terrific. Thanks so much, Kevin. We appreciate you being with us
Perfect.
today.
Thank you.